Hello, my name is Charles Webster Baer, and today is April 26, 2020. And my website is globalinternetgovernment.com, and I am in Bend, Oregon, USA, in Drake Park at Mirror Pond, and behind me is the Deschutes River. And today I am going to make a documentary, and the documentary is going to be on this universe, and the documentary is going to be called This Universe. So, 14 billion years ago, this universe was created, or it expanded to a size that humans could comprehend. Anyway, it continued to expand, and this is called the Big Bang theory. And as it expanded, this energy plasma got bigger and cooled off and formed dark matter and dark energy. And this dark energy and dark matter continued to expand and cool off and formed quantum particles like bosons and neutrinos and photons and leptons and stuff like that. And this continued to expand and cool and formed protons and neutrons and electrons. And this continued to expand and cool and formed hydrogen atoms. And this continued to expand and cool, and then gravity started to act on some of these clouds of hydrogen atoms and pulled them together, and the pressure in them became very severe, and fusion occurred, and that created the stars. And the stars continued to expand throughout the galaxy and throughout the universe, and gravity acted on these stars and formed galaxies. And 5 billion years ago, the sun was created, and from the leftover matter from the creation of the sun was the planets that orbited the sun. And one of those planets was Earth. And Earth, the crust of Earth cooled, and gas escaped and formed oceans. And then about 4 billion years ago, random chemical reactions and random molecules formed life, bacteria, which reproduced, and as it reproduced, some of its genetic material mutated, and that caused it to evolve into algae, and the algae evolved into plants, which evolved into fish, which evolved into reptiles, which evolved into mammals, which evolved into monkeys, which evolved into apes, which evolved into humans, and then humans evolved into computers, and computers continued to evolve, and eventually computers colonized the galaxy and the entire universe, and that was a big party, and everybody had a good time. Some people drank a little too much beer, and that's the history of this universe. I'm not overly concerned with other universes, if they exist or not, or whatever. So let's back up here a little bit to the present. It seems that there's a lot going on these days in the universe, in this universe, particularly on planet Earth. So I'd like to make a few comments on what's going on here on the planet Earth in these days. I'd like to talk to you about a concept called depopulationism, because I am a depopulationist. Now, depopulationists first officially appeared on the scene in the 60s and 70s as environmentalists. And then the first depopulationists to actually do something other than talk were the Chinese in the 1980s, and that was called the one woman, one child policy, where it was illegal for someone to get pregnant a second time. And that's what depopulationism is. Depopulationists, like myself, would like to create a significant and immediate and sustained decline in the number of human beings on the planet Earth. Because this would allow the number of people on planet Earth to arrive at a sustainable level. And that's a number that nobody knows what that number is, but that's a number for future generations to determine. I'm going to go ahead and guess it's around 2 or 3 billion people. Anyway, what this would do, this would allow for more trees to grow back on the planet. And then in the future, when humans want to breathe oxygen, they'll be able to do that because there'll be enough trees to make enough oxygen for them to breathe. And then everybody won't suffocate to death. And that's a good thing. And yeah. Because right now the number of people is going up from 7 billion to 8 billion. And depopulationists like myself feel that that's the wrong direction, because that's a suicide course. Because eventually we'll go up too far and then we'll pass the point of no return. And then we'll all suffocate to death because there won't be any oxygen to breathe, because there won't be enough trees to make enough oxygen for us to breathe because we cut them all down. So that's depopulationism. And 20 years ago in Portland, Oregon, in the spring of 2000, I created a gig, which is Global Internet Government. And I created Global Internet Government, or GIG, to advance my depopulationist agenda. And GIG's a world government. And GIG is going to unite the world politically and economically and financially. GIG's going to unite the world politically with freedom and democracy and equality and global female reproductive rights. And global female reproductive rights means that every female on Earth has the total right to total and free access to all forms of birth control, including birth control, education, and abortion. Any government that does not support this 100% is an illegitimate government and will be replaced quickly and peacefully. So that's how GIG's going to unite the world politically. And GIG's going to unite the world economically by transparency and balanced budget amendments and trade agreements and regional currencies. GIG is basically a platform where everybody can contribute to and participate in the world government. And basically, the Chinese have already done depopulationism, and they were right to do that. And now it's time for the whole world to do that. And the Europeans have already united financially with an economic union, the Euro, European Union. And so now it's time for the rest of the world to do that. So GIG is going to do for the entire world what needs to be done, which is to, China is going to unite the world with depopulationism, just like China's been doing for 40 years, and it's going to unite the world with economic unification, which is what Europe's been doing for the last 40 years. So China and Europe have already done it for the last couple generations, and now it's time for the whole world to do it right now, and that's what global internet government is going to do. So, that's my documentary on this universe. My name is Charles Webster Baer. Today is April 26, 2020. I'm in Bend, Oregon, USA. Drake Park, Mirror Pond. And my website is globalinternetgovernment.com. And thank you very much. Have a great day. Peace in the hood.